Hey everybody, it's Dr. Amilda. It's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. We have got to catch up with Dolly. I have been thinking so much about Dolly, and it's time to talk about what is going on in the Halloween journal. I do apologize for not being here every day. I wanted so much to do an October daily, and it is so hard with so many other commitments going on. But Dolly has been operating in the background, and maybe absence has made the heart grow fonder. Let's look at the journal. You may have noticed on the cover that the eyes have been scratched out. It's a little more distressed, and we have some really dark ink that's been dropped on the front. If you remember, this one closes with this latch here. I have it open right now so that we can just get right into the journal. I'm not going to repeat everything that we've looked at so far because I don't want to bore anyone, and obviously at the very last of October, the whole story is going to be told. We have different notes from Dr. Amilda. We have a history of Dolly's commitment to an asylum. Dolly has left horrifying notes. We have things that were found in Dolly's room. We have pieces of fabric from neighboring patients who disappeared from the asylum when Dolly left. I did go ahead and go back and distress a lot of this that just looked too new. We have this note in here about Dolly's medical records. More notes from Dr. Amilda. I do like to put on the pretty trim and everything to make it look very much like a Halloween journal. More notes that we've already seen. We have the wax seal, the beautiful black paint. There have been sightings of Dolly in all different places. People are calling the police, terrified, saying that they think they've seen her. The police don't know where she is. There's been at least one funeral with evidence that Dolly was here. Okay, now we are to the point where I've done some more decorating. You all have given me so many amazing ideas to put into this journal, and the story just gets richer and richer. Of course, the true story will not come out until the end of October. I added this beautiful trim to the edge of this page. I love the black cats. I love to have some fun in here that goes along with kind of the dark side of this story. I found this online, and one of the places I love to look for images is Gutenberg. It's a site that tries to publish, or they do publish, but they're trying to bring in all of these every old document, text, book, and a lot of times these old books have images with them. I do read the copyright that goes with them. Most of the time they're out of copyright for the United States and other countries as well, but this came from the Gutenberg site. It was really bright and colorful. It was a little bit too colorful for the journal, so I used some coffee stain to just distress that. Jay, I have this beautiful napkin you sent with all the phases of the moon. I put that down on the page. We may come back and write some more on here, but then let's turn the page over here. For now, the first postcard I've put in is this dirt road. It says Manson Lake, Shady Rest Lodge, Rhinelander, Wisconsin. Now, we already have the one postcard that I showed you with the like a restaurant or a dining area that looked very dark and shadowy. I wanted to put this in because it just looks kind of creepy. It looks so empty up there, kind of abandoned, and we can just imagine someone walking along the road. We have another folder here with nurses' notes, and I cut this out of a page that Carolyn sent to me from a yearbook. So bless her, she's in this Dolly journal, but she's fine. Nothing has happened to her. She was one of the nurses who has noted some things in this folder. Now, we'll talk more about this beautiful trim. Dolly likes to dress up. She doesn't get the chance very often because she is institutionalized. Of course, now she's escaped, but she does like to dress up, and we have that beautiful trim from one of her outfits. In here, we have a note from Dr. Amilda. The nurse has stapled on this picture urgent lobotomy instruments missing from medical supply. Oh, that is so terrifying. And the note says, Dolly has been missing from Athens Insane Asylum for over 2 weeks now. The body of her neighboring patient was found not far from the Athens property. There was great fear among staff as it was discovered that a lobotomy kit had been stolen from the medical supplies. Oh my, how I hate to even write it, but the poor Mrs. Smith stolen from her room was the victim of a cruel procedure by Dolly. How far will this go, Dr. Amilda? So that does tell you that Dolly has been in the Athens Insane Asylum, but we also know that she's been in Wisconsin, and the story is going to unfold. We have a baby picture here. This also came from the Gutenberg site. Dolly seemed to be a normal baby, but her life has been anything but normal. I've been her doctor for so many years, I know her by heart. She has been in many institutions and finally settled at Athens. I thought we would cure her there. Now, that is probably Dr. Amilda, but that's all the note says. And then we have the image of Dolly chasing someone. We have a picture of the institution that she was once in that was completely abandoned. Everybody talks about the ghost stories and hearing women scream, and people say that they see Dolly there sometimes. Turning this page, here is another letter, and it is the first page of Dolly's history, wherein the story of Dolly begins. Dolly was born in a normal way, if any birth can be called normal. She was born a twin. Everything was okay until the twins were abandoned after being taken from a very suspect situation in Salem. While the witch trials may have been over, the twins were very much in a dangerous home with lots of supernatural things reported by neighbors. The girls were adopted to a nice family in Wisconsin, where social workers hoped they'd soon be like normal girls. However, it wasn't long before awful things began happening. Some neighbors even moved away. The adoptive father died, something that could never be explained. Dolly was committed to Sheboygan Asylum, but her twin disappeared. Her twin has never been found. Dolly just keeps repeating, I took care of her. So this is the first part of the story written out by Dr. Amilda. We have lots to go, but the story is going to fill out and you will not believe the ending. This is what we have at this point. I do think, however, okay, so here's a page that we didn't talk about. I knew there was another page. So many of you have given me ideas about the journal. Your names might end up in this journal. My name could end up in this journal. So this is meant to look a little bit like a newspaper. We have Cleveland Times, Cleveland, Ohio, and then of course the Athens Asylum is in Ohio. We have a little clipping here, or a picture here, of someone getting into a car, and it says Nurse Roxanne leaves Athens. And then we have a lady screaming here. Some patients at Athens see visions of Dolly. We have the man trying to see if she's okay, and she's just holding her head, screaming, and her hair is flying everywhere. And then here is a special delivery note, like a telegram, to Dr. Amilda from Athens Lunatic Asylum. It says special handling. Dear Dr. Amilda, we wanted to let you know that our dear nurse Roxanne left the institution safely and is confirmed to be safe with family in another country. We hope you are okay. So, Roxanne, I think you know who you are. Some of you have given me ideas about where Dolly is, what she's been doing, and Roxanne and I both had the idea that she ended up somehow in Athens Insane Asylum. Terrible things went on there. So that's where we are for right now. The story, I do know some of the backstory, and I'm trying to tie in all of the ideas and try to figure out, like, it's hard to be authentic when you don't really know or understand how you want the pieces to come together. Obviously, the United States is kind of big, So it's hard to tie these places together, and yet I want to use just everything. So that is where we are. We're not sure who this man is yet. I'm sure we'll find out before it's over with. I love hearing all of your ideas. Even if I haven't answered, I definitely have seen your comment. So many of you. And look, we're only at the 18th, and look how thick this is. Or is it the 19th? Anyway, you know what I'm saying. So this is where we are with Dolly right now. That's kind of creepy to have one eye covered with that. So stay tuned. Dolly is definitely still on the loose. Dr. Amilda is in hiding. She's trying to document the story so that people will understand exactly what happened. Dolly is leaving a path of destruction. Keep giving me your ideas. I love them so much. And I will be back very soon. At this time, I would like to thank my Patreon supporters. Without your help, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing, which is have a channel, create content, make journals, and do art full time. Thank you so much for supporting me like you do. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate always your feedback and suggestions. Okay, bye for now.